Okay, Chris, we are fresh. And I mean fresh off of 52-14. I'm going to say that score one more time for you. 52-14 victory for the Detroit Lions over the Tennessee Titans, who, by the way, outgained us, right? Who, by the way, I think had a better time of possession, yet we still found a way to beat them by 38 points. There are a lot of things that I don't know if I've ever seen before in a football game, and we're going to talk about some of those. But Chris, talk to me, man. How are you feeling seeing what the Detroit Lions did so far?
Yeah, it was so cool to see I guess all the other ways to win a football game that you just really don't think about. And special teams is one that I think special teams has evolved to be like just get possession. Like it's not really meant to be a big play thing anymore.
Sure.
It feels like it's a lot more just get possession, let's get our offense out there.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of ways I'm cool with that. But you saw today the kick return, 2 punt returns that
Mm-hmm.
was just really cool to see. And so I think on the kick return, I think we're evolving there and trying to figure out. And you
Yep.
did see it was like a play. It was almost like a play. So
Mm-hmm.
that is going to continue to be kind of a thing. And then secondly, the big punt returns, just seeing Khalif Raymond and seeing the
Yeah.
talent again out on the field. So
Yes.
I just think that was really great. Then the other thing that really stood out to me was defensively there just for a second. It was like, oh boy, when we go live, man, people are going to be on the defense. And then to see the defense respond really well, tighten up,
Unbelievable. Yeah.
and then punch outs and get
Yep.
turnovers. And it's like, all right, like so it kind of started off, and that's the hard thing when you start a game. Like, of course, it's going to be close when it starts. We've only played 6 minutes of the game, but it's like, oh boy, it's
Yeah.
a little tight. And the next thing you
Oh, it's going
know,
to be a shootout.
yeah, and so I just love to see the defense respond, put the offense in. I mean, our offense is so good that
Yep.
you give us short fields, it was really easy. So I think the
All
biggest
day.
takeaway though was the special teams, but also the defense getting turnovers. Like it's huge.
Yeah, so you're talking about special teams. I want to show something here, and this is where stats sometimes don't tell the whole picture. And the Detroit Lions, when you look at total yards, it says the Titans outgained us 417 to 225. Right? So they almost doubled us in total yards. Now, don't get me wrong, about 100 of those were just in the end when we had our backups in and stuff like that. What you don't see on this, and what I haven't even found a stat for yet, is, and they don't have it on here yet, but the announcers talked about it, 301 yards. When you take our kick return yards, when you take our punt return yards, and you take our interception return yards, it is an additional 301 yards. So we actually had 526 total yards. That's the stuff that I'm looking at where I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like
Right.
I can't remember what was the last time we saw return numbers like that. Mel Gray? Like
Mhm.
what are we talking about here? It's like in the 90s or something like that. I have not seen anything like it for turnovers. Once again, more touchdowns than incompletions.
Mm.
Like just unprecedented things.
And
Unprecedented.
we're really, that 300, I wrote that down as well. I was like, oh, there it is. That's kind of because it's like, where are the stats? That's the
Yep.
hidden yards at 300. And then we are so good in blowing teams out, so much so that we are noticeably trying to get guys involved. Like
Yes.
most teams are just trying to score. I mean, any absolutely. You're trying to do anything. We're like, all right, you know what? Laporta hasn't gotten any action lately.
Yeah.
Let's try to work him in. Let's try to do this. Let's try to do that. And so I don't know. It's just
It
it's hard
feels
to
like
it's hard
it
to
feels like
imagine.
we're watching Alabama play Jacksonville State or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And or like and all of a sudden in the fourth quarter you're like, "All right, what do we got in this freshman? Like what does he look
Yeah.
like?" or something like that. It's nuts. But I want to for a second I want to stick with the theme because I talk about 301 yards. I talk about 4 turnovers, so many punch outs, things we just
Mm.
aren't used to seeing. Detroit Lions PR came out with this on Twitter. 50 points. The Lions have scored 50 points in a game for the fourth time in team history, first time since November 27, 1997.
Okay.
Right? So, first time in, almost 30 years, 27 years.
Yep.
Jake Bates has made his first 11 field goal attempts, the
Yep.
most field goal attempts ever by a kicker. Like, I mean, like that's what Twitter's full of right now is just all these things.
There's so much
In the
yeah.
you ready for this one? Over the last 4 games, the Lions have scored 162 plus points and 21 touchdowns.
Hmm.
What?
I was trying to think of, I don't remember 50. I remember us getting into the 40s, but 50's just different. And
It's different.
that's so cool. And no, I love what you said about, or the stat about Jake Bates. In my mind, he's missed stuff. You know, just kind
Yep.
of, he's missed a few extra points and a few field goals in my mind.
Yep.
But no, he hasn't. He was money today, had a 51-yarder or whatever. That was just
Yeah.
like in his sleep. So yeah, this is crazy. And to your point about getting the punch outs and the turnovers, you have to be, who does that? Good teams that are bigger, faster, stronger, more hardened. You're just better, right? I mean, you take the extreme example, we've talked about this, but like older brother versus younger brother is going to get more turnovers off his little brother. You're just able to rip the ball, you're able to do things. And so we have just a good team, and you're seeing us be more physical. And I mean, it's so cool to see a good team and a bad team on the field and us be the good team. And so for so many years there, it was like, man,
Let's
we're
be
the
the good
team
team.
that's like, oh man, because the Titans, they had to be thinking themselves, man, we were playing here for a second. And I remember thinking that with the Lions for so many years, and thinking, hey, we were kind of in the, even when you get blown out, you're like, if we just do this a little bit better next time, it's like, man, it's just crazy to see a good team on the field is us.
Yeah. And look, Travis, I have no reason not to believe you. First 6-1 start since 1957 with authority, right? Like I could see that. I
Yeah,
can see that.
sure.
Think about it. Not in our lifetime if we started 6-1. We were 6-2 last year, but we weren't 6-1. I think we were 5-2 and then won the game 6. But sorry, I just keep, as you're talking, I just keep reading other things. All right. Kali Freeman is the first player in Detroit Lions history to produce a receiving and punt return touchdown in the same game. Like it just keeps going. And some of them are meaningless and some of them are real.
Mhm.
So let me ask you this, Chris, and you've said a lot of stuff so far, so I don't want to necessarily put you on the spot, but I kind of want to put you on the spot. What is the single most impressive thing? And it doesn't just have to be about this game. I want you to talk about the last 4 games in general. What would you say is like the most impressive thing that you're seeing from this team that you feel is different from Lions teams in the past that this
Mm.
team can do?
I always think about that moment. Aaron Glenn said, we're going to get to the point, or we need to get to the point where we expect to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like thinking to myself, I don't know
Oh
if that's,
yeah,
I was remember thinking like,
yeah.
not the NFL, like you can't really do that, because we had never come close to that. And then, so it's just like it took us like 2 years as fans to get over the jitters of like, oh, we're going to screw this up. Oh, geez, how's this going to go? It's like, the confidence level is what I'm so impressed with. You go into Dallas, just smoke them. You just have this confidence and this belief that you're going to win the game. And so you look at there's so many bad teams in the league, and it's hard to get over, and it's hard to get those momentums. And now to see us with momentum and confidence, that's what's most impressive to me.
Yeah. I think good teams win in weird ways,
Yeah.
right? And they do weird things well. And I use the word weird. I don't want it to seem bad. I guess what I mean by that is good teams win by having efficiency on offense. The Lions are the most efficient offense over the last month that I think the NFL's ever seen. I really do. Good teams win by forcing turnovers on defense. The Lions are forcing turnovers at a ridiculous rate. The defense, yeah, there's some good, there's some bad, but they're making plays. Good teams win with special teams. Good teams play well at the end of halves. And like the Lions are doing all of these things. It is truly remarkable for me to watch. And I fully agree with you that it is very interesting to see this. And I'm almost shell shocked watching this team. When was the last time you watched the Lions game other than in Dallas, which by the way, it never gets boring in Dallas, that a Lions game where they're winning by so much that you're almost bored the entire second half.
Yep.
And you're questioning, should I watch another game because we have it in the bag? Not should I watch another game because we're getting killed. We got it in the bag. We're going to win. By the way, I never mind. Keep going. Go.
This is the NFL, and the line for this game was 12. It was Lions favored by 12, which is just
Huge.
unheard of. 12, 14, and so all the professional bettors have that big of a number are like, man, you just take Titans, because
Yeah.
it's just even if we won by 10 points, 2 scores,
Yeah.
you'd still take the Lions. My point in saying all this is, it's just you're just not going to blow teams out in the NFL. It's very, very difficult, especially to do it back to back to back weeks, basically, or whatever. And so the
Yeah.
Lions to
Yeah.
do it, it's just like, to your point, it's the efficient offense that's just, I mean, Goff, even just a couple throws where it was like 8 yards, and it just,
Yeah.
he's back there. And ever since we played Stafford the first game of the year, which, by the way, I've got this whole theory of like, I'm watching Stafford. He's up there. He's Mr. Gamer. He's sweating. That's awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
But I think there is something to like Goff's style of play and his efficiency, his control of the offense. It looks kind of boring or whatever, and it looks like he's not athletic, but it's like, dude, I'm just chill back here. And he's just dotting things up. And so it's the efficiency of the offense, like you said, is up there with Peyton Manning. I mean, seriously, it's the Peyton Manning's primes. It's the Tom Brady primes. That's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is.
I know. It's like, whoa.
The efficiency. Thanks, David. Appreciate you, man. Chiefs. Hey, we know we can beat the Chiefs. You know, I just, as I see this and I hear what you're talking, like, can I explain to you what Jared Goff has been for me?
Mm-hmm.
He went from a guy who we were saying, what if, and I liked the idea of Jared Goff. I like the idea of what if he can be good, and what if he's prime. And then he went to this guy of like, okay, he's even better than I thought he could be.
Mm-hmm.
And I like him, but he'll never be maybe what we need him to be. And now it's just like he just finds ways to continue to evolve, and it's all up here. It's all pre-snap. It's all reading the defense. It's accuracy. It's understanding what's going on. It is so much fun to watch him. Like it is truly beautiful. The way I like to put it, you have let's talk NBA for a second. Remember you had the LeBron Cavs or the LeBron Heat. Let's go with the LeBron Heat. And it was just one-on-one basketball all over the place. And then the Spurs came in and just played amazing, beautiful. It was like poetry basketball in the finals and beat them. That's what I feel like the Lions are doing on offense right now. Like you have you don't have a mobile quarterback, which is what everybody in the NFL is dying for. And so it's just like, all right, there we go. Like, it's amazing. It truly is.
Well, there's so many quarterbacks that he could be. I mean, you'd think of like Andy Dalton, or I don't know. I'm Brian Hoyer. Guys that
just guys that aren't mobile, right?
Yeah, not mobile and good enough, right? Where it's like, no, they're not bad.
Trent Dilfer.
I can't just like cut you. Like you're not right, but it's gonna be tough. He is like, no, I am that like Drew Brees. Like it's just crazy, right? And it's again, I'm not saying he's this, but we can all admit he's at that level right now. Just currently what you're looking at, it is like Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. And it's like, oh my, how is this possible? But when you're so efficient, the play calling is just unreal because
unreal.
Ben Johnson.
I mean, there's weapons galore, but
and Ben Johnson should be a head coach somewhere. So what should be in there right now is a new OC, and they're trying to figure each other out. 6 games into the year, 8 or whatever we're in, and that's what it should be. And that would be totally, we'd all get that. But it's like, no, it's year 4, just humming along. He knows what Goff likes at 3rd and 2 at midfield. It's just, it's like unfair. This is Steph KD type of stuff, like where it's like, this, you just kind of look at it like, is this right? So so I love it, man.
It's almost like an embarrassment of riches. I don't know how else to say it. And I'm good with it. Just stay healthy, please.
Stay healthy.
And stay healthy. And speaking of healthy, Jordan Love left the game with the Packers Jags, and he hurt his groin. So I mean, like, groin injuries are hard to come back from in 1 week.
Love it. Yep.
So we're on our way there, and it may be without him, but somehow with Malik Willis, they're even better. And the Jaguars just jaguared instead of letting them score a touchdown, wasted all their timeouts, and now they're going to either score a touchdown and they're going to kick a field goal from the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
As time expires at 3rd and goal. And it's just like, just let them go into the end zone. So you have a minute. They would have had a minute. But anyways, so we'll be going into Lambeau. They may or may not have their starting quarterback. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It's just going to be fun to watch. And I mean,
speaking of that,
fun to watch
one of the
for
things
first place.
One of the things I did notice about and I thought, and helped me develop this point, because I'm like working on it, is our defense, the style that we play. We're going to play that man aggressive. Love it. Okay, fine. But it does feel like the right coaching staff and offense can absolutely, if you run the right offense against that, you can kill us. And what I mean, and that one of the teams that can get it is LaFleur. He sees it. You need to like college it up a little bit against us, with some like play action. What am I trying to say? If you run, like,
you're talking about reverse, you're trying to get people moving one way, then go to the other.
Yes. Yeah. If you play us straight up, we're just tough, because we're going to be up in your grill, and it's like, it's just not going to work. But man, you saw that the Titans do just a hair of it, and it's like, oh crap. And we had guys,
this is going to work. But every time they ran a screen pass on us, that was successful, they had a holding penalty. Here's the thing, and this is very interesting what you're talking about with this. I think the very big difference when you play a very strong man-to-man defense, it is very important to get pressure on the quarterback. It's very important. And in that first quarter, we didn't get any pressure. And so when we're not getting any pressure, then there's going to be some struggles, right? Like you're going to have some struggles, and they're going to be wide open players. And in the second half, even the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, when I believe we held them scoreless in all those quarters, we started getting some pressure. May not have been even a ton of intense pressure, but I'm telling you right now, almost every throw, he had a hand in his face. He was getting hit. He was getting knocked down. And then there was inaccuracy with the passes. And that's when the man-to-man coverage looks really, really good, because that's when they can make up for it. If your quarterback's not very accurate in a clean pocket, then that's when we attacked. So it's very interesting. It is important that we get pressure. And that's why I do think there has to be a move. I thought our guys on the edge didn't play great. I didn't think they were terrible, right? Like, I don't know about you. I don't know how you felt about El-Quadin Muhammad, Isaiah Thomas. I mean, those guys were on the edges a ton. They were on the edges a ton. I can't wait to see what the numbers are with pressures and stuff like that.
It made me really realize how good Hutch is this game, because those guys are out there. They're getting blocked. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I had not seen, again, this is a couple games here where it's like, man, Hutchinson's so incredibly good. And so it just, I'm with you. I think there has to be something done just for the sheer fact that not only Hutchinson, but a lot of other guys are out too. So I don't know. It's like, yes, because if you don't get pressure, then two things happen. Guys eventually get open, or you hold or pass interference. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. But LaFleur's a great coach. And I just thought of it when you said Malik Willis. If it's Malik Willis, in some ways, it's just as bad, because what you do is you simplify it. You do you don't say, because if you want to just drop back and play us, it's this hard. It's going to be hard. But if you're doing a little dink and dunk, guys escaping, guys kind of crossing, that's the stuff that it's hard for us. And it takes good coaches to recognize that. And I just, LaFleur's a good coach. So
he is a good coach. I think O'Connell's a good coach. I think LaFleur's a good coach. And I think whoever's playing quarterback for the Packers or the Vikings is probably going to be just fine. I think that's just how it's going to work, because they're playing with good offensive minds who know how to work to their strengths. That's just the way that goes.
That's why the Bears don't scare you. I mean, ultimately, that just, I get they're off to a nice start, but yeah, that's you want to put, I mean, Eberflus, if you just did a draft, everybody got stripped of their coaches and we just started from the top, he would go undrafted. Eberflus, where, LaFleur, Dan
O'Connell,
Campbell, and the Vikings guy would go top 10.
I think they're all top 5, maybe even.
Yes.
But they're definitely all top 10.
Yep.
Right. And I think even now, all right, so can we just talk about this for a minute? I want to talk about this. because there's a lot of areas, right? Whether it's national, I don't know, whether it's fans of other teams that live in our area, whatever it might be, there are a lot of people that are talking about how Dan Campbell still is, he's okay. They're like, yeah, I'm like, no, he's an elite coach.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I don't know if he's elite. Like, you got a good offensive coordinator. No, shut your mouth. It's his offense. I just get frustrated. Tell me what you think. Like, after we watch this team over the last month, can we just put this to bed? Can we just get rid of this narrative of, oh, Dan Campbell, he's kind of a cool guy. He's quirky. He's got a unique attitude and stuff. Can we just say, no, he's an elite head coach? Can we finally start saying this?
100%. I mean, he's
like, how can't we?
How can we? Because the thing that people will never understand unless you're a Lions fan is what it took to go from losing
Yes.
to really turn that corner. And what it took was a guy that said, I'm going for the win. And that's why those fakes and the aggressiveness, and there's so much to it, right? So that's just one little piece, but you're so right. There's so much. He has taught me so much about football. I thought,
yes,
yeah, man, get an offense, get a defense. Let's do this. Get some players. That's what we did during the Caldwell era. Players on the offense, players on defense. Let's go play. And it's like, yeah, that gets you 11 wins.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah, one out of every other year you got 11 wins. Other than that, but you're inconsistent. This is a hardened team. To make a hardened football team, I never knew what went into it, and it's just like watching this is just fun to watch. So yes, he is. It's so much more than just X's and O's, and it's a whole franchise building thing. He's incredible.
Absolutely. I mean, the X's and O's, especially on the offensive side, are elite. They're elite.
Yes,
and that's under him. Like, don't forget, this is the dude that called the plays when this offense started to turn around. This is the dude when the Lions were 0-11-1 that went out and got 30 points, right? Against the Cardinals, who were 10-3.
Yes.
Like, this is or 1-11-1, whatever it was. And, this is a guy who started to turn around. This is true, but there's another elite characteristic that coaches have to the discipline that these teams play with. The reason we started winning that game in the beginning against the Titans was, yes, all the little things. It was the lack of penalties. I don't think we had a penalty until the second half. So it's X's and O's are elite. The discipline is elite. The effort is elite. And not to mention the retention is elite. And you could talk about players that wanting to resign because they want to be here, like a Graham Glasgow taking a pay cut. Right. Or other players like that, but also the coaches. Elite coaches hang on to coaches. And I think that's one of the things for me. I'm kind of done. Like last year, Lions go 12-5.
Yeah.
And they end up making it to the NFC Championship. And Dan Campbell's not even close to the running for head coach of the year. What are you talking about? Like, how is that not? Oh, yeah. Brad Holmes is an amazing GM. He is an amazing GM. But guess what? No GM is amazing unless he has a good head coach that puts players in position to win.
Right.
I get frustrated. I don't know why I got frustrated about this right now, but I do at times. I get frustrated where I'm just like, he's really good. Yeah, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I can't find an area that he sucks, except for, people will be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have gone for it so much in the NFC Championship. Shut your mouth. I get it. I get your frustration, but like, we wouldn't have been there if we didn't go for it either.
Exactly. Nope. I love it. I love your point about the discipline. We take that so for granted. I mean, we were so conditioned as Lions fans. Anything good happen, just hold on. I'm sure there's a flag or something. And there often was. And that's what you saw with the Titans today. It's like, dang, they got us on that. And it's like, oh, flag's coming back. Cool. Or big return, so that part is just crazy. Let me ask you this, Craig, if you had to give off a couple game balls, and let us know in the comments too, game balls for this game. You don't have enough balls to go around.
Good one.
Yeah.
Wow.
That really came out harder than I thought.
Sorry.
Balls to go around. How many? Let's do 2 game balls. What do you got?
2 game balls. We going, let's go. Can I go 3?
Yep.
Can I like you too? But it's offense, defense, special teams. Let's do that, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I guess Khalif Raymond could get one for offense and special teams, but Khalif Raymond for sure special teams. But I'm going to give you Khalif Raymond. I'm going to give it to Jake Bates going 11 for 11
Yeah.
now. It's not just this game. It's 51 yarder that he could have made from 70. It's just watching him continue to be consistent. Also, by the way, something that's not easy to do in the modern NFL, go 7 for 7 extra points. Really
Mhm.
impressive, actually. Not that we needed him to, but he did.
That
All
was
right.
great. Yep, yep.
On the offensive side of the ball, it's easy for me. It's Gibbs. It's Gibbs all day. He was, that first one that broke out. This is statistically the best team defensively in the NFL, which still doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but especially against the run. So I'm going there. And then on the defense, it's Amik Robertson, 2 punch outs, forcing turnovers. Got to do it.
Yes. Oh man. Well,
Those are my 3 game balls. What have you like? We can talk more about each one. What are your 3 if they're any different? And then we can kind of talk
yeah,
about who each
I
one
was
is.
going special teams Khalif, and then I was going Gibbs, and I thought Gibbs because remember that was at a point in the game where just like shoot, they just scored, and it was like, all right, like shoot, we gotta. And
Yeah.
I'm just kind of thinking like they got a good defense, we can't be screwing around. And then you just kind of thinking there for a second, and then when he just
Yeah.
breaks that off, again, and I love to seeing these former Lions players that we're going against. It was Owarie in Dallas, and then to see
Yep.
what's his name, safety
Diggs.
here. Yep,
Quandre
just
Diggs.
take a bad angle, and again, what a difference, right? You get rid of
Yeah.
Diggs, and he's been gone. I know he's older and stuff. It's not really
And
that
he's
fair, but
good.
yeah,
Like,
he would.
yeah.
But he was good with. But it's just funny to see like Diggs, former guy. The
Yeah.
new age Lions have Brian Branch. Like, wow,
Yes.
what a
Thank
difference.
you.
But
Thank you
yeah,
for
so
a
to see
difference.
Gibbs, that was a big one. And then Amik Robertson, I just felt like he's a good player, and I felt like he had some confidence issues there for a minute, just because
Yeah.
I felt like he was getting beat, and I was like, dude, I know you're not that bad. So to see him get 2 punch outs was awesome. So
It
yeah,
is.
that's what I was going with too. So there's so many ways you could go. I mean, you could go honorable mention to David Montgomery for throwing a touchdown, running one.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's just awesome, man.
You could go honorable mention for a lot of people.
Oh,
Like you could go honorable. I mean, Aleem McNeil is the guy in the beginning of the game that was holding stuff together. Like it
yes,
was just just a really good all around effort.
yes.
It
That
really was.
it was just one of those games where, and this kind of happens where it kind of get on, it starts piling on, but it was more than that. I mean, it was, man, it was we could do no wrong. And that's, again, that is a team that is good defensively. And again, you leave us with the short fields and all that we had. It was no chance for them, but man, it was just fun to watch. Is there anything you come away with concerned about? I guess should we just talk about the edge? You already kind of hit on it, but
Yeah.
is there anything that you were like, man, now that I've seen this, not even this week, but the last couple weeks, where are you at with that and any other things that we might need to get better at?
Yeah, I felt like we were playing a team that wasn't great today, and we found a way to win this one, no problem. And our defense got into it. This is a really bad offense that we were playing,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
they scored. This is one of their best offensive outputs of the year. Like it really is, especially total yardage wise. Points is about average for them. I don't think they've scored over 17 in like the last 4 or 5 games. So this is a bad offensive team. I don't think this is a Super Bowl caliber defense. I just don't.
mhm.
So when I look at it, all I can think to myself is we need to do something on the edge. I'm a little worried about Malcolm Rodriguez. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Like I'm hearing a lot of things saying it looks like like you go on Twitter and you get the MDs and they're saying anywhere from a high ankle sprain to not sure. So he's going to be out for some time.
Yep.
And we're already kind of decimated, so it's really, I know it sounds weird, but that linebacker and edge room are very intertwined, so it's just yet
Yeah.
another injury in a similar position. I think it's time for us to go out there and get somebody so that we can start getting them utilized sooner rather than later. I like what the guys did today, that were filling in. I thought they did an admirable job. Isaiah Thomas, Muhammad, I thought they did a good job, but it's not gonna be good enough.
Yeah. I spot on. it's just like, man, we've got all the pieces. We have to get pressure with the type of defense that we play. It's just imperative. Other guys are going to come open, or
Yeah.
you're just ultimately going to grab or have penalties. And so, yep, that's what I just, I'm still sick about Hutchinson. I mean, just sick, because
Yeah.
even if he was out, I don't know. It's just hard to.
Well, even if it's a high ankle sprain and he's out 4 to 6 weeks,
Yes.
you know, at on the bad side, it's like, okay, that's fine. You know, like we can survive. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. In fact, we're already 3 weeks into it. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, oh my gosh. So
And then
yeah,
he's
I
in the
think
suite with his legs still propped up in a massive cast, and you're just like, oh man, that poor
oh my
guy. Like that's gonna take
gosh.
that's
I just
that's
hope you can come back one
and
day.
I
I mean,
think you can physically. It's just that takes a toll mentally too, just being out. Like I understand even that leg, like the bones, they say will be stronger than they were before because they'll be
okay.
plates and fused together. And when you break a bone, it actually heals stronger than it was before. So he'll actually have a stronger leg. The the thing is you hope for no complications. The question is like you're down like with that, like you don't get to do any type of
Right.
preparation for on your body at all for months.
Yep.
And so like just getting his body back into playing shape and stuff like that, like he won't be the same next year. He won't. It'll be 2026
Yeah. I
if he
know,
comes
right?
back to being the same Hutch.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so yeah, I just awesome, super fun. It's crazy what we've come from. I mean, those Stafford era, those 10 years there with Stafford was just, I mean, giving yourself a heart attack every week.
Yep.
Some days we'd get back. Some Sundays that he'd come back, some not, but down to the wire. Every game, win or lose, down to the wire. And this is like, yeah, like you said, this is a second
You know
two
what
or
else
three
was
games.
Stafford? You know what else was Stafford? And this was just a product of the team too.
Oh,
A product of the team was it felt like our offense wouldn't score unless we were behind. Like
yes.
we didn't have that urgency.
Yep.
And now it's like, no, we just play well. We
Just
just play
play.
well.
Just dude,
Okay.
it was hold on to your
Yeah.
hold on to just
Cardiac cats, right?
yep, and that was the back, and that was the old. See, this is what Dan Campbell. I mean, I'm convinced he's doing it across the league, where it's like, what's the point in sitting on this ball and running clock and then punting it to him with 49 seconds? Let's
Right.
one
Just go.
first down, we win.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah. Anyway, yeah, that comment. There's trade deadline.
November 5th,
Oh,
Tuesday. So
election
not
day.
this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. So
Hey, you guys want to talk
that's
politics?
interesting.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, that'd be so much fun. That's what, because that's what we're about
Yeah,
on this channel. We really love talking about things that aren't sports,
yeah.
especially politics. That's really what's just dominated our channel, I think.
Is the border? No, it's just you just say anything. You can't say anything. Like
There's not a word.
there's not
There's
a
not a
word.
word. There's not a
Grocery.
word you can
Oh
say.
man. All right, I love
Grocery.
it.
Oh my goodness. All right, don't give anything away, man. All right, well, hey, thank you. We will keep talking football. It's nice to have something that's an outlet away from the nastiness and all the ridiculous commercials of politics. Just know we're only a week and a half away from being bombarded with political ads.
Oh,
Can
come
we all
on.
agree that's good?
That's a great thing. No more ads. No more ads. Love it.
No more ads. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate it. And Chris, you got anything else? Or are you feeling good, man?
Nope. I'm good.
Nice, easy, relaxing victory. Wouldn't it be nice if we did this to the Packers?
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna beat the Packers. Feeling
think
good
so.
about it. Yeah.
Feel good. All right, man. Thank you. And thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
See ya.